Hello, one and all, and welcome back to more Let's Play Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. I am the Max Few Trades. In the last part, we were able to prove that Starbuck was not the killer of Apollo's old friend Clay Terran, and much more distressingly, it appears that the next in line, the most likely culprit, the person who has fingerprints on an item that was at the scene of the murder held by the very clear and obvious murderer, was Athena. And, yeah, judging by the intro of this case, it looks like we are going to be diving into whatever it is that happened in Athena's past, as well as Blackwill's, apparently. And I'm both excited and deeply nervous about everything that we're about to experience. All I can say for certain, and maybe this is presumptuous of me, but I'm gonna just go ahead and call my shot here. I'm going to assume that neither Athena nor Blackwell are in fact guilty of any wrongdoings. That's just going to be my immediate assumption, and perhaps it's wishful thinking. Time shall tell. Let's see what happens. We're at the Right Anything Agency. This is the... What is up with Phoenix having some of the single most dramatic and soul-crushing experiences in the courtroom he could possibly have so close to Christmas? What is up with that? They took Athena from the courtroom straight to the station. She's probably being questioned at this very moment. I don't have either of them around now. Ah, this sucks. We spent this whole game, you know, really spending time with them, and we built this three-person dynamic, and it was really charming and fun, and everything was great, and now I don't have them. Aww. After this past year, I took it for granted that those two would always be here. Yeah. But now Apollo has gone off on his own to seek his own truth. And my pursuit of the truth only ended up with Athena becoming the new suspect. You can't blame the truth for that. The truth is going to set her free. Mark my words on that one. Some boss I turned out to be. There's Trucy. Although I don't think she's any happier. It's even quieter in here than usual. Yeah. It seems so empty, too. I just don't get it, Daddy. All of your reasoning during the trial seemed perfectly solid. Yeah, and I still believe it was. At least based on what we know. But now, Athena's the one who's being accused. There is such a story here that I have to uncover. Oh my god. During the trial for the bombing and murder that occurred at the Cosmos Space Center, the lighter used by the real culprit was found. This lighter proved the defendant, Solomon Starbuck, innocent. But Athena's prints were found on it instead. And she was subsequently arrested for the murder. But Athena couldn't have done it. It just doesn't make any sense. No, none of it does. I've been racking my brain, but I just can't figure it out. Where's the flaw in my reasoning? What have I got wrong in this case? You know, Daddy, if Athena was here, she wouldn't just be sitting around thinking. She'd be out there doing something. Damn straight she would! You are going to defend Athena, right, Daddy? Of course I will! That was never in question! Not for a fraction of a second! Thanks, Trucy. I needed that push. Trucy's right. The trial is tomorrow. There's no time to waste. If I'm going to prove Athena's innocence, I'd better get out there and find some evidence. Off we go, then! We're on a hunt for evidence that'll prove Athena's innocence. Great! Before we go, I'd better tidy up the evidence I have on hand. Oh, so we have all of the same evidence as before. That's wild. Okay, let's see. What are we removing? Unnecessary evidence left at the office. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that all makes sense. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we ever even used the knife. And like I said at the end of the last episode, it's like, wow, you know, considering we're about to get a not guilty verdict, it sure is weird we just got new evidence put into our inventory. What's up with that? Oh my god. Athena's probably still in the middle of being questioned, which sucks. I want to talk to her now. So Trucy's right. The thing to start with is talking to people at the Space Center. So Trucy, are you coming with me on this one? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't want to do this alone. I would be so depressed. Anyway, let's get to talking. I still can't believe Apollo really left us. It was so sudden. Maybe he got tired of being my assistant for my magic tricks? I don't think it's your fault, Trucy. But I made him clean the toilet a lot. And I made him go bring in the newspaper. It was my fault, I just know it. Oh, Apollo. Maybe when this is all said and done and everything is back to normal and everyone is happy again, and I refuse to believe that's not how this will end, maybe you could dial back the teasing, just, you know, a fraction. You know? I really don't think it was your fault, Trucy. But I didn't realize Apollo was wearing so many hats around here either. He was basically the go-to errand boy for quite literally everything around this office. I'm kind of amazed he wasn't even more resentful of that. How could they suspect Athena? It's just ridiculous. It must be some kind of conspiracy. Conspiracy, huh? Well, it certainly is some kind of mistake, that's for sure. First of all, we have to bust Athena out of the detention center. Then we have to chase down the people who framed her. We'll sneak around the world from to Carolina with the fuzz hot on our tails. Isn't that exactly the same as the plot of the movie you watched the other day? Yeah, I don't have to answer that, Daddy. You mind your business. How about that? Okay, all right. We gotta just keep walking forward and we'll reach our goal eventually. Oh, it's you. Director Cosmos. Do you have a minute? Ugh. Galactic Shooter! Full speed ahead! I said shooter instead of scooter. Which is good, because that would have, because he has a gun. I just, whatever. Director, he scooted away. He scoot-a-lude. His expression changed the instant he saw you, Daddy. Yeah, well, I dragged his name through the mud pretty good at the trial earlier today. Yeah, I can't imagine he's too particularly fond of me. Anything else you want to say? No? All right, then. Let's just mosey our way on further in. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to go about getting new evidence for any of this. Like, we scrubbed this place pretty dang thoroughly. But, okay. We were here only yesterday. Oh, hey! Hey! Mr. Starbuck! You've been released, huh? Yep! And I came straight here. This is all thanks to you and your team, Mr. Wright. You've given me a second chance to fly into space again. I can't thank you enough. Except... What's wrong? I thought he'd be happy to be acquitted. As I was coming out of the detention center, and I saw Miss Sykes. He saw Athena? I was at a loss for words. I didn't know what to say to the poor girl. I don't know what anybody could have said at that moment. And then, you know what? She flashed a peace sign at me. Congratulations on your acquittal, she said. Now you can go back into space someday. Oh my god, Athena, you are the sweetest girl on the planet. Oh my god. She is being escorted through custody, passing by someone who got out and is like, I'm so happy for you. I'm glad you can realize your dream now. Okay, I gotta go get questioned by the police now. Bye. Like, oh my god, Athena! Ah! Yeah, that sounds like Athena. I can just picture it. But I saw her eyes. They were red and swollen from crying. That just makes it even sweeter that she was trying to make you happy. She's gotta be suffering. She must be so worried. And yet she went out of her way to be nice and give me that big smile. Ah, she's taking the lessons from Phoenix! Ah! She held back her own tears so she could give someone else a smile. That's so Athena. It really is. There's no question about it. That girl is innocent. Please, Mr. Wright, you have to make sure she goes free. And then they could put me in prison instead. I don't mind. We can't have that either, Mr. Starbuck. Oh, I don't have to actually make the noise that time. Don't worry, Mr. Starbuck. I'm gonna give her the very best defense I can. And there is literally nobody on this earth better at defense than Phoenix, goddamn right. I promise to get her acquitted, just like I did for you. I know she'll be all right with you in her corner. I know you'll never give up on her. Damn straight. Apollo has a fine boss to look up to. I really appreciate that. I really, truly do. All right, so I know that you were drugged out or passed out at the time, but I don't know, it's been a little while. Anything new in there? I still can't believe Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. What could have made Director Cosmos do such a thing? All we know is that he refuses to tell us. I haven't the foggiest idea. So there never was going to be a launch that day. Not from the very beginning. I wonder if Clay knew. I imagine he must have. Surely he would have noticed when you went to board the rocket. It's pathetic to think I was the only one who got taken in. I'm trying to shake up the noise, man. It is not easy. But I guess that's about how it goes when you're worth less than space debris. I say debris wrong on purpose. Is he gonna be all right, Daddy? No, this is just the only version of himself I know. I think he needs more therapy. I'm not sure, but there's something up here, and it's more than just PTSD. His expression looks as dark as a black hole. Well, that's just how he is. Don't worry about it. All right, let's keep talking. Mr. Starbuck, do you remember anything about the murderer? Seriously, I'm talking like shoe color here. Not really. Only saw a shadowy figure in the dark, after all. Yeah, I guess that was a little too much to hope for. It was worth trying. Hey, I heard something from the police, though. They said they never did find a 10 caliber gun down the trash chute. Yo! Just as I thought. The culprit must have carried it away with them when they escaped. So was the person you saw holding a gun, Mr. Starbuck? Could you tell if they were? Yeah, I couldn't really tell. Damn. But it wasn't Athena, right? Could you tell if the person was male or female, tall or short? I can't even tell you that much. Man, I'm useless. Well, to be fair, I'm pretty sure the only time you saw the shadowy figure was when you were on your back and with, like, blurred-ass vision and a hazy-ass mind state. I'm not getting on you for not being able to help in this situation. I'm just hopeful that you could be, you know? Don't worry. When the culprit opened the door and some light came in, I should have been able to see. The door. Ah, yeah. That's fair enough. As I recall, they opened this door here as they made their escape. The door to Launchpad 1, right? Yeah, except right now, the door leads to the Space Museum. You mean the Launchpad and the Space Museum are switched right now? Yeah, they're trying to investigate the theory you came up with in court. So they're recreating the conditions, huh? I'd like to see what's beyond that door now. Turns out that Space Museum is astronomically, pun not intended, but I'll roll with it, more important than I was actually ready for. Mr. Starbuck, could you open this door for us? Sure, just let me have my print scanned here. Taking off my astronaut's glove is such a pain in the ass, I'll have you know. It's got like 5 different things of Velcro on it, man. Do the launch pads get switched back and forth a lot? I'm sure they move Launchpad 1 more than they don't, but I don't see any reason why they'd switch it with the museum. The museum has no reason to move at all. Well, back when the Space Museum was Launchpad 2, they used to switch the pads around at times. But these days, Launchpad 2 is only used as a tourist attraction, right? Right. Because, quite frankly, the Space Center needs the money. God, they need the money! I hear ya. Times sure are tough. Things are tough for everybody all over, but we're doing our best, goddammit. Daddy, let's go check what's beyond that door. Sure, let's go. Hey, why don't I come along? I can show you around. I don't see why not. The more the merrier, I honestly have to say. Yo, hello, what's this? Why have we not noticed it? I wonder what these dead leaves are doing here. Maybe they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes. There are a lot of trees around the Space Center, yeah, but there's also a lot of cleaning robots. Didn't one of them find a bullet or something? Or they definitely picked up something. Or the lighter, they picked up the lighter. She's right, it's a modern state-of-the-art building, but it's surrounded by trees. But I don't know. If they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes, wouldn't they look more crushed up? These don't look like they've been stepped on. Well, I mean, if they had a muddy shoe and they brought in a fresh leaf and then that laid down and then it eventually dried up and turned into a dry, crusty leaf, then that could explain it. But I'm still more inclined to believe there's something up. Maybe there's some kind of secret hatch in the corridor, and then they came in that way? Not everything is set up like a magician's stage, you know? I mean, to be fair, far more than you'd think is, but not everything. All right, so interesting. The only things here are just a palm reader and some dry leaves. So this is another one of those devices for opening the door, huh? Yep. This one doesn't require fingerprint verification. You just hit the button and open sesame. So when you and Clay went through here, you didn't need to show your prints either? That's right, Juicy. Just like how the culprit didn't need to scan their prints. When they escaped back out on the Space Museum corridor and into boarding lounge 2. All right. Interesting. Well, I don't see anything else that jumps out at me. Yeah, it's a pretty barren sight. And I imagine this corridor is built exactly like the Launchpad 1 corridor. That's usually how they do that sort of thing. Symmetry and all that. All right, well, I guess that's all we're getting out of that. And yet there's nowhere else I can go? There's the entrance, the lounge, I kind of wanted to go to the museum. Let's see, hang on a second. Talk to Space Center staff. All right, I mean, I'm certainly giving that a go, but it's not really working. Did anybody show up at the, okay, somebody's at the entrance now. Or at the very least, some sort of plot-relevant shenanigans are afoot. That's good. Okay, we'll take it. Yeah, you're back! Curse the wretch who sullied my good name! Reverse course and full speed away! Director Cosmos, you can't segue away from all of your problems! Except he could. And it was awesome. I'll handle this, Daddy. Take that! But, whoa, what the? The mobility system has been compromised. Truth? I'm sorry. All I heard was the sound of what's. It sounded like somebody getting stabbed. What? Trucy's knife throw was a direct hit to one of his tires. Okay. And the streak continues. Oh my God. Maybe I should have kept a closer watch on what trick she's been practicing. She's learning knife throwing, huh? Okay. Good Lord. My dear old battleship. We fought many a skirmish together. It has been an honor, and God only knows I can't use these useless crickety knees. I guess I'm just stranded here now. Daddy's going to blow that thing up. What do you mean? Nah, I bet all that button will do is make it go haywire again. That seems to be the only thing any of those buttons do. Very well, I surrender. As a prisoner of war, I expect to be treated honorably. Yeah, well, really all I want to do is ask you just a whole bunch of questions. Like, why you do the thing? And why do you lie about doing the thing? And then why do you say that you're not allowed to talk about why you did the thing and that your hands are tied? I think I got some theories, but I want some explanation. Director Cosmos, when you were talking in court about switching the launch pads, you used your right to remain silent about the reason as to why. And just in case you forgot that he said that, I guess we'll have a flashback to hammer home the point. I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the 2 launch pads to begin with. Please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent. Is that the first time that anyone's ever actually used that right in the series? It can't be. I must just not be remembering. But I will say my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in that blast. The center of the cosmos is shrouded in mystery. But I don't have any secrets left. I mean, you clearly do. Now that my battleship has been destroyed and I've been taken prisoner. Yeah, I don't have any secrets, he says, with secrets. Secrets abounding all over the goddamn place like nobody's business. Ay. All right. Looks like I'll have to undo his psych locks if I want to get to the bottom of this. Of course. Alrighty then, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Take that. Let's go. Let's hope that I have all of the evidence I need, but I don't know of anywhere else I can go to get more evidence, so let's hope for the best on that one. Okay. Let's talk. I want you to tell me everything you're hiding about the switching of the 2 launch pads. I refuse. You can't make me. I can hold out longer than anyone. Doubt that immensely, immeasurably so. So yeah, no, we're gonna shatter you. We're gonna get in there. I hope I never get like this when I'm old. Now let's see where to start. This is how you explained your motive for switching the launch pads. You did it to save the astronauts. You said you wanted to prevent them from being in the blast, which is interesting because I thought they already happened. And again, theories, but I need hard confirmation. Thanks to you switching the launch pads, the astronauts escaped injury from the blast. Instead, they safely boarded the museum's rocket far away from the actual explosion. My astronauts were raring to go out on an authentic adventure in space. It's space adventure, an adventure in space. How do you propose I had them board a fake rocket without them noticing? I agree, you couldn't have done it without help. For one, they would have figured that out the instant they stepped into the space museum. You figured you could fool Mr. Starbuck once he'd been drugged with his medication, but without the help of this person, it would have been impossible to pull your plan off. Well, there's literally only one person it could have been. Which means, I guess Clay did know about all of this in advance. You must have gotten Mr. Taryn to help you. Arrogant! He stole the tranquilizers from his mentor's locker and slipped them to him. Wow. And then, with Mr. Starbuck in a daze, they boarded the replica rocket in the museum. Somebody please help this poor prisoner of war! How was he able to spin around like that with only one tire? That's a load of nonsense! Oy, if you really wanted to save the astronauts' lives, shouldn't you have just called off the launch? Wouldn't that have been so much easier for all parties? If I could have done that, do you think I would have gone to all that trouble? No, that's a fair point. That's why I'm asking. Guess he must have had a compelling reason why he couldn't call it off. But how did you know to switch the pads in advance of the bombing incidents? Well, that's because I was warned in advance. Once I received that warning, it was my duty to ensure my astronaut safety. But it was just a warning. It could have even been a prank. Why did you believe it so completely? Because I went to one of those mediums that everyone's talking about these days. Really now? Oh, I didn't realize channeling was back in vogue. Besides, I thought it was you yourself that got the warning via telephone. Yes, that's right. The bomber contacted me personally. My battleship is equipped with a special advanced communication system, you see. That looks pretty old-timey to me, but hey, whatever, man. AKA a regular old telephone. It's been a while. Planning another launch? So you haven't learned. I'll never forget the terror I felt when I received that call. The bomber said it's been a while? And that was enough to make you take the threat seriously. Perhaps Director Cosmos took the threat so seriously because the Space Center had been involved in a bombing once before. Maybe. The culprit in the current case is the same person who was involved in this incident. Yep, that certainly makes a whole lot of sense to me. The Hat One Miracle. That epic story of survival. People across the nation know it now as a heroic tale of bravery. But in truth, it was an act of sabotage perpetrated by our current killer, wasn't it? That would explain why so many various things went horribly, horribly wrong. Very few knew about the previous plot, so when the caller said, "It's been a while," you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the danger was real, and it wasn't a prank! Didn't anyone ever tell you to go easy on an ex-serviceman? I don't think anybody's ever said that, but either way, I'm not gonna. Yes, the Hat One Miracle was really a desperate battle against an act of sabotage. Quite frankly, I feel like that would have made the movie even cooler, but yeah, I guess I can understand not wanting that to get out, especially considering, you know, whoever did it is out there. that'd be distressing. I even lost the life of one of my staff members in the fight. Wait, what? Sabotage? Murder? So this is the ugly truth behind the Hat One Miracle. Oh! Yeah, hang on, do I still... In fact, did I ever? Did I guess I don't. Yeah, but there was that photo. Okay. I let my guard down. I thought the saboteur had been caught, and that the case was closed. Huh? Wait a minute. The murder at the Space Center 7 years ago. This must be the person Director Cosmos thought was the culprit. Well, I mean, yeah, once again, it kind of all just lines up, now doesn't it? Simon Blackwell, the murder suspect in a case that happened here 7 years ago. The place and time of the two incidents, the murder and the sabotage, were the same. So you thought that he committed both crimes. But while Prosecutor Blackwell was behind bars, you got another threatening call. If the culprit this time is the same as 7 years ago, then it isn't Simon Blackwell. Realizing that, you were shaken. It meant the true culprit's been running free all this time. How do you keep seeing straight through me? I have a lot of experience looking through a lot of different people. I'm sorry, but you're not nearly tough or eccentric enough to beat any more of a challenge than anyone else I've gone up against. Not for a lack of trying, I gotta give you your kudos and everything, but still. The reason why Director Cosmos won't talk about why he switched the launch pads is connected to the truth behind the Hat 1 miracle. The sabotage and murder that happened at the Space Center 7 years ago. Director Cosmos, tell us what you're hiding. I demand it, goddammit! If you really want to understand the reason I decided to switch the launch pads. Oh. We'll have to start with the story of that horrible nightmare from 7 years ago. Please. Please do. 7 years ago. You mean the so-called Hat 1 miracle? You don't have to call it so-called. It was still pretty miraculous. The launch went smoothly. Once the ship entered outer space, then the troubles began. It was all the handiwork of a certain person and their evil scheme. So Mr. Starbuck's traumatic experience wasn't accidental. Not only that, but before the launch, a very valuable piece of moon rock was stolen. But that wasn't the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered. Yeah, and I think I can at least guesstimate who. Wow, I had no idea such awful events were behind that exciting story of space heroism. All that in spite of the Space Center having very strict security in those days. All personal effects were examined thoroughly, coming or going. You couldn't even smuggle a withered old leaf through those checkpoints. That's a very specific thing to say. Okay. So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage? At the very least, I know it wasn't Simon Blackwell. I felt confident at the time. Turns out, joke's on me, I guess. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what that person is. To put it simply, a spy. A spy? You mean somebody who infiltrates a foreign country? Carries out dangerous missions and always gets the girl? Someone's watching way too many late-night movies. Y'all gotta put a curfew on that girl. Well, I guess if we're talking about blowing up a rocket and stealing research material. Yeah, okay. It's not all that surprising that a spy could be behind it all. They are a real thing that exists. They are the spy. Make no mistake, there's cutthroat rivalry between nations in the space R&D race. Some try to outdo others by any means possible. Ah, not the means! Even deliberate obstruction. 7 years ago, we got a call before the launches warning us of sabotage. The same MO as this time. Yes. And here I thought the perpetrator had been caught. Looks like I was wrong. That sucks! Prosecutor Blackwell seems more like a ninja than a spy, don't you think? Considering the fact that he's really going all in on the whole samurai motif, I feel like he'd actually be pretty offended by that comparison. Aren't ninjas and spies basically the same thing? Yes. Yes, they are. Yeah, basically, yes. But there's a good reason we failed to find the real spy. A massive cover-up by the government. Whoa, okay. Government officials were too embarrassed to admit that they had allowed such a thing to happen at the hands of a spy. Don't tell me they made the police rush the investigation. They did indeed. And then to cover up the sabotage, they cleaned up the story. And that was the Hat 1 miracle, wasn't it? But then 7 years later, the same MO, advanced warning of sabotage? That must have been the director's reason for switching the launch pads. They kinda... I mean, the culprit kind of went absolutely crazy on this one, didn't they? I mean, the first time they just seemed to fiddle with stuff with the rocket. This time they had bombs. It's like, wow, you really didn't learn your lesson the first time. I'ma just firebomb the whole place. That is a massive step forward in intensity. Like, what the hell? All right. 7 years ago, the spy gave you advance warning of their plans, just like this time. That was what made you decide to switch the launch pads, wasn't it? That's right. The caller knew the facts of the case 7 years ago, despite the cover-up. They knew about the sabotage. the moon rock, the murder, and they said, "You don't want things to go like they did 7 years ago, do you?" I immediately thought of calling off the launch, but the government wouldn't let me. "We don't give in to the likes of terrorists. We must proceed for our country's honor." That's so goddamn stupid, and I believe every word. That totally sounds like what happened. Nah, that sucks. It was quite a moving speech, actually. Moving? Really? Maybe if you're easily inspired by political talking points, and ain't nobody on the face of the earth what should be susceptible to that. Ugh. But I knew the truth. We had been warned, which meant that the danger was very real. And I knew there was no way to stop the spy. No matter what I did, they would find a way. That's why I switched the launch pads and staged the moving rescue scene. Sorry. It's hard to judge the emphasis as it's scrolling by. First, I snuck into the center that night before and switched the launch pads. That way, the astronauts would go from boarding lounge 1 to the Space Museum. And then I put a closed for repairs sign at the door to launch pad 1 and boarding room lounge 2. You did that so normal visitors wouldn't enter, right? Clever, smart, good call. All right, what else did you do? I enlisted the help of several staff members, including Taryn. But you didn't let Mr. Starbuck in on us? He'd already been through enough, and he's no good at lying to keep a secret. So I thought the only course of action was to drug him. Oh, God. I'm afraid I had no choice but to have him drugged. The plan went well until, you know, the murder. Place murder, huh? After the culprit made their escape, I switched the launch pads back. I did it in such a way that no one would find out. But after all that effort, Taryn is dead and the Hat 2 is destroyed. And the Hope capsule, which had returned to us only recently, was also lost in that blast. Wasn't it taken into custody for being evidence? Ah, my home, the center of the cosmos! My beautiful Cosmos Space Center is done for! Wait, what did he mean by the Hope capsule was lost in that blast? Yeah, no, you want to maybe talk about that? Because that's not the story I heard. I thought that the Hope capsule was found at the crime scene with Mr. Taryn. It had just been brought back by the Hope space probe with asteroid samples inside. I remember it rather well, as a matter of fact. So, what kind of samples are they? What's in them? Stuff and things, mostly. We haven't had time since they just came back the day before Taryn's murder. Yeah. So was that also a lie? The capsule was being held in a safe in Launch Pad 1. But I gave it to Taryn before the incident so it wouldn't be destroyed in the explosion. That definitely explains it, because from the start, I thought it was immensely weird to bring that with you into space. The idea was that with it safely in Taryn's possession, you could make it look like you rescued it during the staged miraculous escape. But our precious research materials ended up lost to that explosion anyway. That doesn't answer the question. What's the thing in the picture then? But I thought Clay was supposed to keep it safe. You must understand, the launch pad explosion wasn't the one the capsule was lost to. It was lost after the police confiscated it as evidence. Yeah, you said that. It was the courtroom bombing. Oh, that sucks! Oh, it was the courtroom bombing from the other day. The capsule was there in the courtroom as evidence and was blown to smithereens. Ah, that sucks! Legit, I am sorry, dude. Got another casualty of that blast. Ultimately, I think the culprit may have known about the switching of the launch pads. What? How? The police found a wiretapping device during their investigation today. A bug aboard my battleship, a tap on my advanced communication system. A wire on that phone? Well, in layman's term, yeah, I guess. A wire on my phone. I used this phone to give instructions to my staff about the launch pad switch. Just to the few select members who knew about the plan. Just before the incident, staff members were coming in and out of Launch Pad 1. The culprit probably slipped in with them amid the confusion, and planted the bomb then. Oy! Yeah, if they were tapping your phone, they definitely could pull something like that off. So you really think the same spy is behind this incident and the one 7 years ago? Or at the very, very, very bare minimum, the same people sent... I mean, like... maybe it's not the same person in both, but the people in charge of the people that sent the people might have sent two separate people. But that might be overcomplicating things. Yes, I'm sure of it. Then this spy must be the phantom Prosecutor Blackwell has been chasing. And if that's the case, then that means that Blackwell has literally never committed a crime, as far as I know. Well, that would certainly explain the overwhelming bitterness at existence he seems to constantly project. Prosecutor Blackwell told me once. Adjustment glasses. The hunt I've been on for the phantom of 7 years past continues even still. For starters, that case happened right here at this very space center, too. Yep, I remember. So if we can find this phantom... That's right, we can clear Athena's name. And then there's the matter of Prosecutor Blackwell, too. What about him? Well, if the culprit of 7 years ago is the same person as in the current incident, it would mean Prosecutor Blackwell is innocent. That's still an if, though. True. I guess we do need definitive evidence about all of that. But if all goes the way that I assume that it will, he will be innocent indeed. I wonder how dangerous that guy would be in court without handcuffs. I mean, he consistently breaks them, so I mean, that's basically the same as not having them. But if we're going on a ghost hunt, count me in. It's all over for me! Spin! Spin! Whirl, whirl, I'm done for! The center of the cosmos is doomed! Do you think he's gonna be alright, Daddy? Honestly, probably not. But, like, what do you want me to do? There's nothing I can do, hell. Well, at least he'll be in good company. There must be planets out there he can spin with. Which reminds me, we're just going to leave him to that, I guess. All right. Yeah, I'd like to delve a little deeper into the Hat 1 mission, too. If you want to learn more, start with a space museum. I'm tired and sad. There's a Hat 1 exhibit there. Oh, don't mind me. I'll just keep spinning here and see how the cosmos unfolds. That man is about to wharf no less than 8 feet. And I don't want to be here when that happens. It's like he's achieved spiritual enlightenment or something. Maybe that's why Crash Bandicoot is so weird in the head. All that spinning has made him reach enlightenment. I'm sure he'll stop when he gets dizzy. Let's go visit the Space Museum. Is he ever not dizzy? My goodness. All right then, finally! This is what I kind of thought we would be doing from the start. Shows what I heckin' know, I guess. All right, what do we got? What do we got? With the slow text crawl. Let's see. Where's the exhibit on the launch 7 years ago? Right over here. There. That's the Hat 1 exhibit. It's literally, I think, the only thing you can find in here. Oh, wow. Look at that photo of the team. Yep. I could only assume yon last to the far right done got themselves murdered what proper, and that is all kinds of unfortunate. There's Clay and Mr. Starbuck, Director Cosmos, Aura Blackwell, and even Ponko. But I've never seen the woman on the right before. Everybody looks so happy. Well, except for Director Cosmos. He shows happiness on the inside. Let's check on the newspaper article, too. All right, what do we got? Hat 1 launch imminent. And there's a photo of the Hope space probe. Huh, it's a big old thing. I guess it's only natural it doesn't talk about the murder or the sabotage. That was, in fact, covered up. Wait, hang on. Does that mean that they... No. Okay, I was like, did they cover up the murder? How'd they do that? No, that's the entire reason Blackwell's in prison. They really were keeping it a secret, just like the director said. Daddy, take a look at that jacket. It must be the Hat 1 team's uniform jacket. Are we gonna make note of the fact that it's damaged? Is that even roughly, vaguely important? It's the same design as the one Apollo was wearing, the one that belonged to Clay. Actual jacket worn by a Hat 1 team member, it says. Not a replica, huh? I wonder if it was Mr. Starbucks. All right, there we go. At least it's actually evidence now. That's good to know. Hello? Hello? Whomstiv? Hi, Junie! You know, when I first met you back at the beginning of the game, I really was not prepared for how often you'd be showing up. Whoa, hi! Miss Woods, what brings you here? I heard Thena got arrested. I mean, okay, it makes sense that you would... Yeah, okay, fair, but still. So I've been looking for you, Mr. Wright. I thought you might be here at the scene. You must be so worried. But rest assured, I'm gonna do my very best to defend her. Thena's going through such a hard time. I hope she doesn't lose heart. Even just coming back to this place must have been really difficult for her. You know things! I hurt my hand. Ow. Huh? You mean the Cosmos Space Center? What? You didn't know? She used to live here? When she was a little girl? She lived at a space center? I mean, I guess the princess comes back to the castle. That makes more sense now. But what? She did? No, I didn't know. No wonder she knew so much and was so familiar with Ponko. Miss Woods, could you tell me more about, just everything? Everything you know, please. I cannot stress this enough how helpful it would be. Athena's mom. Oh, no! That was her mom? Oh. Well, that would explain the disturbing blood-soaked anime scenes we've been seeing. It would also play a very large role in why she probably has, those blackout moments where she sinks into the madness. Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Athena's mom worked here. If I remember right, she was a doctor of psychology or something like that. But why was a psychology specialist working at a space research facility? Much less, why would they live in one? I don't really know. But I do know that she lived and worked here, so Athena lived here too. So it was far from Athena's first time here. I wonder why she didn't mention it. That is the question. She probably didn't want to talk about it. This place is connected to a very sad memory for her. Yeah, I'm picking up on that. In fact, I feel like it should be pretty obvious at this point, but I guess, no. I mean, we're privy to information Phoenix isn't, so that's fair. A sad memory. Can you tell me more about it? There was a terrible incident here. It was 7 years ago. The same time frame as the Hat 1 launch! It's lining up Athena's mom in the robotics lab. She was murdered. What? After it happened, Athena stopped coming to school. Poor Athena. And all this time, she never let on at all. It's like one... Did she just not want us to worry? That's... Oh. I was so worried about her. I came here so many times hoping to see her. But I never saw her again. After a while, we started exchanging letters. But I didn't get to see her face to face for 7 long years. And so the first time you'd seen her in 7 years was during Professor Court's case. That's right. And I was so surprised. I remember all that. Yeah. I didn't realize how deep of a surprise it was. My God. She was like a completely different person. So cheerful and happy. Also, by the way, this music is killing me. Oh God, it's a sad version of Athena's song. It's like, it's beautiful, but it's so depressing given the circumstances. What was Athena like as a child? She was very sensitive and kind. She didn't talk very much. She liked to draw and paint at home. That's completely different from the Athena we know now. I can't even picture it. What brought about the change? She never left the Space Center much because she was very sensitive to other people's emotions. When she went to crowded places, she'd get dizzy from all the emotions flying around. It must be hard to hear people's hearts as well as their voices. Oh no! She always wore these big, heavy-looking headphones. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research. Wonder what kind of research it was. I can only assume research into her powers. Because of her special ability, Athena couldn't handle being in school very often. And I was always out sick because of my weak constitution. It makes a lot more sense that you would be able to connect as well as you did. Maybe that's why we became such good friends. Makes sense. We used to play together here at the Space Center a lot. It brings back memories. Sounds like Athena's mother played a big role here at the Space Center. Oh, Daddy, show her that picture! Atta girl, good idea. All right. So then I'm holding on to it now? Oh, it's just the exhibit. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. I can't just look in my inventory. I have to actually select it. Miss Woods, could you take a look at this for me? Oh, look! There's Thena's mom. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's so... Oh. The woman on the far right, the one in the kimono. That's Dr. Metis Sykes. And Thena's mother's murder. Did it by any chance have any connection to the Hat 1 launch? What? Well, why, yes, it did. As I recall, it happened on the day before the launch. Just as I suspected. And that would explain Athena's... That just explains Athena's relation with Blackwell. And why she knew him, and why they had such an adversarial relation. Holy hell. But that wasn't the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered. So this is the murder Director Cosmos was talking about. But then, again, we're running off the theory that Blackwell didn't do it. I guess Athena could obviously just not know. I mean, clearly. Yeah, I guess she just thinks he did it, and what does he care otherwise, right? I guess that makes sense. So this is the murder Director Cosmos was talking about. Does that mean the crime prosecutor Blackwell was convicted of is the murder of Athena's mother? There's a chance her death is somehow connected to the current case. There is? Very, very likely. Thank you for all your help, Miss Woods. And please try not to worry. I know that saying that is just gonna make you worry, but please try not to. I won't let anything happen to Athena. Thank you, Mr. Wright. I know you'll take good care of her. So, we need to investigate the robotics lab and also talk to Athena. You've got our plates full, Daddy. I hope we can fit it all in before the day is through. We don't have a choice! The detention center first, then. We have to see Athena before visiting hours are over. That's just fine by me. I really, really need to see her. There! That's not Athena! Well, if it isn't Mr. Lawyer, fancy meeting you here. Oh, hello, Detective Fulbright. Here on business? To tell the truth, I'm here to interview Ted tonight. Ted tonight? The one behind the courtroom bombing incident? He suddenly said he's ready to tell the truth about that case. And what he was saying was so incredible, I just had to come right over to hear more. Incredible? What was he saying? I wasn't prepared for that guy to be relevant. Why don't you hang around and hear it for yourself? Really? Us? Are you sure? I give you my special permission. Here comes the bomber now. God damn. All right. Hey, Fulbright wants to be cooperative. I'm taking it. Thank you. Wow, so we're actually going to talk to him again? That's insane. Yo! What nerve have you to come here? I'd like to think that his text-to-speech thing still emoted somehow. You're here to laugh at me, I suppose. Like I'd waste my breath on you. I was fully mentally prepared to just forget you ever existed in the first place. What, they gave you new goggles? After all, you're the one who assaulted Apollo and put him in the hospital, you absolute stooge. Violence? No. Question? Okay. No violence? Too bad Apollo didn't get a chance to say that before you attacked him. Fine, then just answer me this, Mr. Tenate. What is this truth of yours about the courtroom you blew up? No, I didn't do it. I didn't blow up the courtroom. When I killed Detective Arm, there was another person in the room. What are you talking about? Who else could have been there? I saw it. I tell you. I saw someone's hand as they were stealing the remote switch. Absolutely wild how relevant that ended up becoming. This person was there and witnessed the murder I committed. What? I don't know who it was, but that's who blew up the courtroom. You expect us to buy that? Easy there, Trucy. I don't see any psych locks. And also, it'd be a really weird thing to lie about. It's not like he's saying, there was another person in the room, they're the one that killed him. Like, they're not saying anything like that, so it'd be weird to just bring this out for no reason. So I guess he must not be lying. Or at the very least, he doesn't think he is. I think that counts. Pardon me, I got a little carried away. But I'm telling you the truth, I did not detonate that bomb. And there you have it. We can't exactly ignore his claims, of course, so we're doing a follow-up. We're even analyzing the bomb itself, or what's left of it. Not a whole lot. Oh, dang, you found a lot more than I thought you would. We haven't found any new facts yet, though. Well, they've laid it all out piece by piece. Oh, look at all those beautiful little pieces. I wish I could have them. Yeah, I bet you do. Uh-oh. Looks like his geek switch has been activated, and I don't want to be anywhere near him when something like that happens. Oh, the phony fancy bomb makes a comeback. My goodness. Well, I hope you're ready for Prosecutor Blackwell's special brand of questioning. Yeah, anything but that. I'm afraid I have to be off now, too. I was just about to question Miss Sykes. What? But I wanted to talk to her. You're gonna see Athena now? That's right. Oh, did you folks come to see her? Sorry for the trouble, but could you come back later? But I need to see her now. Well, off I go. Now I know how Sawbuck feels. Starbuck. Looks like we'll have to wait until after her questioning is over to see her. And after we came all this way, too. Well, I guess it's back to the Space Center. Let's go check out the robotics lab, Daddy. All right, sounds like a plan. All right, anything new to talk about? No? All right. And to the robotics lab. Whoa! The Judgetron? What, is somebody making a goddamn Gundam in here? What in the hell? So this is the robotics lab, huh? Looks like it's exactly one floor above the boarding lounge. And where people were directed to evacuate from via the emergency ladder. This is where Athena's mother was killed 7 years ago. Speaking of someone who works with robots... Daddy, look, over there! What? Yeah, but hi, Apollo! So they plan to use this bag to carry the capsule, is that right? Oh, yeah, more or less. Say, why don't we stop talking about the case and have a nice cup of tea instead? Apollo and Aura Blackwell? I wonder what they're talking about. Well, come to spoil our fun. Just when I was enjoying our alone time. Trucy and Mr. Wright. That'd be us. I never thought I would feel so awkward being in the same room as Apollo. If it's Apollo you want, you can't have him. He said he's investigating on his own. And I respect his wishes. We just came to investigate the lab. Ow! Well, this is my lab, so you'll need my permission if you want to do any snooping. All right, can we have permission? And also, can you stop digging around in the robot's brain meat? I heard about the trial. You made mincemeat out of the director. And suddenly, Starbuck was out and your little subordinate, the princess, was in. Please don't call her that. Case closed. And they all lived happily ever after. I don't like you. I really don't. Daddy, say something to her. And I suppose you're going to defend the princess in court, am I right? Princess, huh? She's talking about Athena. Of course. Athena's innocent. Oh my, such loyalty and trust. She seems pretty suspicious to me, though. What have you got against Athena, of all people? The emotionally unstable princess. Don't let it get to you. There's your culprit for you. Don't you agree, Apollo? I don't know yet. Apollo, how could you? I was right. Athena said that Apollo sensed suspicion. No, that she sensed suspicion in Apollo. And I guess that's why. What's wrong with saying I don't know if it's true? It's a very scientific approach. Your subordinate is more level-headed than you. Or should I say, former subordinate. She's actively trying to irritate me. Why? I can't believe it. Does Apollo really suspect Athena? All this laughing has worn me out. I haven't done so in years. Your turn to say something, hunk of junk. Mr. Taryn, you look pale. Shall I help you to the sickbay? Mr. Taryn? But that's Apollo you're talking to. Oh, this hunk of junk here is mistaking Apollo for Clay. Maybe Apollo was possessed by Clay's ghost. In this universe, that's actually not impossible. Mr. Terran, how are your injuries? Mr. Taron. Mr. Taron, how are your injuries? Mr. Taron. I guess Clay intends to hang around to haunt the princess that murdered him. Stop saying that. Oh, and to haunt the lawyer that defends her too, of course. A robot that can see ghosts? You're right. And I'm a spirit medium. I mean, you're almost like a half of one by now, quite frankly. We've seen a lot of ghosts, Phoenix. We really can't say that we don't. Sorry, but apparently scientists just don't tell very frightening ghost stories. I intend to defend Athena no matter what you have to say about it. How perfectly foolish. Oh, flashbacks. That kind of blind belief makes people lose sight of the truth. Just like 7 years ago. All right, you want to talk about that? Could you tell me about the incident 7 years ago? Or are you going to be obtuse and aloof about it? Why? Do you enjoy trampling on people's feelings and rubbing salt in their wounds? No, but you very clearly do. It's literally all you've been doing since I got here. Okay, getting mad. Or do you just want me to talk? In that case, what should I ask for in return? Literally nothing, because you deserve nothing. I'd like to hear about that incident too. It'd help me understand the current case better. Apollo knows about the case too? Well, he's pretty good at being able to inspect stuff as well. It's not too surprising. Well, if you're the one who's asking Apollo, why does Apollo get special privileges? Come on, hunk of junk, you tell the story. But Miss Aura, that's private information. If you won't talk, I'll just have to make you talk. Oh boy. Here we go. Is he gonna say it super fast? Yeah! Yes, who cares about personal privacy? Not me! I'm ready to utilize my blast processing. That's a weird-ass reference to make, but okay. Abilities to impart all available information. Wow, what a magic trick. He's like a completely different robot now. Yeah, well, shoot a big bolt of electricity through someone's brain and they're bound to act a little different. The bodies of all the robots that come through this lab are designed by Miss Aura. I was born 7 years ago. Miss Aura was much, much younger then. Better watch what you say if you don't want to get recycled, Clunko. And then our hearts were created by that great genius, Dr. Metis Sykes. Hearts? Robots with hearts? Can you even make such a thing? I mean, the robots we've come up against at this point have definitely seemed far more personable than they should. Emotions are not irrational things. Our logic and our hearts can be integrated. The two navigation companies created by Miss Aura and Dr. Metis transcend humans. Okay. Ow. Metis. Huh? She just glanced over at her desk. Yeah, there was a photo. I noticed that. Nobody could continue Metis' research. She and her work were truly one of a kind. And now the two navigation companies are all that are left of Metis here on Earth. The robots are all that's left? Isn't she leaving out a very important someone? You know, her daughter? Clearly there's a hell of a lot of resentment here. Okay. We built the ultimate creations together, but now she's gone. I get the feeling Dr. Sykes loved her robots almost as much as she loved her daughter. And almost as much as she loved you. What are you talking about? Don't make me laugh. But you lost someone too, didn't you, Apollo? Your friend Clay. And I guess you and I are pretty much in the same boat. Miss Aura, would you like a tissue? Ow! Keep your trap shut, hunk of junk. Christ, you really don't have to be so freakishly abusive. Just because it's a robot doesn't make it any less messed up. Clunko was an important keepsake of your time with Dr. Sykes. Could you stop abusing him? What does it matter? He doesn't feel pain, and I can always repair his body. Okay, well well, he can't feel pain, and I can fix him if I break him, so who cares if I abuse him? That just don't like that. Besides, their hearts aren't actually in their bodies. What do you mean by that? Ow! The program Metis wrote runs on a separate mainframe. Their bodies are controlled remotely from there. Their hearts and memories are there too. These bodies are really just peripherals. So, I could do anything I want to them. That's a convenient excuse to, I guess, vent your very destructive habits, I guess. I'm not so sure that gives you the right to physically abuse the poor things. Yeah, no, definitely not. I think she just has a screw loose. And in fact, I think those might even... Are those screws attached to her glasses? They might be in her brain. But why are you people looking into such an old case now, anyway? Well, we believe the culprit of that incident might be the same person as in this case. So Daddy's going to find out who killed Dr. Sykes, too. Yeah, I can only imagine how this is going to go. I'm sure you're aware of who Meadows' killer is. Yes, Prosecutor Blackwell. Or so it seems, at least. That's a quaint way of putting it. Are you implying you don't think he did it? I can't say anything for sure right now. It's one of many possibilities. But that's exactly why I'd like to hear your side of it, to help me be sure. I was the one who introduced Simon to Metis, you know. He wanted to learn psychology, he said, to give himself an edge in court. I did think it was a little strange that a lawyer was just here at all, in general. Or, sorry, a prosecutor, whatever. Prosecutor Blackwell's forte. His infamous power of suggestion technique. Exactly. And he was oddly serious about it. Rather than a teacher-student relationship, he treated her more like how a loyal samurai would treat a sovereign. That's weird, but yeah, I buy it. He seems more like a lost soul than a dignified samurai to me. I think that makes him a Ronin. He even got along well with that miserable little princess. You know, I'm really actually not playing it up. Every time she insults Athena, I actually am getting mildly pissed off. Why do you call Athena the princess, anyway? Well, she is Metis' daughter, after all. Although she's nothing like her. Besides... Doesn't this selfish little princess always have lots of white knights hanging around? Okay. Now I think I see why Athena didn't say anything when we ran into Aura yesterday. She is a complete and total bitch. It all makes sense now. I'm sure she has some psychological reason, but it's still pissing me off! It all makes sense now. I guess I shouldn't be judging her because I don't know the whole story, but I'm sorry. I feel the way that I feel, and I can't help but feel the way I feel. So the culprit behind the two cases could be the same, huh? Well, that settles it then. What does it settle? None of your business. Just forget you heard anything. I'm obviously not going to do that. How long are you people going to hang around in here anyway? What? But we came here to take a look around. Do you think you can just waltz in and ransack a person's lab? Whoa. Show me a search warrant. We're not the police, so we don't have one. Then get out! Now! Clonko, show them out! Certainly, Miss Aura. Yeah! Ow, don't push! My apologies, I'm just following orders. Ah! Why does Apollo get special treatment? What the hell? He's a lawyer too!